This is the one planner that keeps my entire life completely organized. And I'm going to do a walkthrough and tour of my A6 ring planner that houses my personal and professional things, as well as some other stuff that I refer to on a pretty much daily and weekly basis. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cassandra and I create content on planning, journaling, and the occasional travel and living abroad vlog. If you're interested in content on how to find your inner clarity to turn into external opportunities, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and let's get into this A6 ring planner tour. This is my everyday carry. This is the planner that I refer to every single day and every single week to look through what my tasks are, anything else that I have going on. I use this planner specifically for my bullet journaling, and this is one that is focused on quarterly and monthly vision and kind of just a higher level view of what I have going on for that month and that quarter. And this is where I keep my big picture goals. But this A6 ring planner is actually my go-to and the one that I refer to for everything that I am supposed to be doing for work or for my personal life. So let's take a look into it. This is, I believe it's fake leather. This is from the brand, a Spanish brand called Charuca. And it was actually on sale when I bought it. I haven't ever used a ring planner before. Before having a ring planner, I would actually plan everything in Notion digitally or in a project management tool for work. And I realized that I didn't want to be doing things digitally anymore because I started to get lost in all of the tasks. And also, since scaling back my business, I don't actually need something so robust. I just need something to keep track of my things. And this ring planner, I've been using it since the beginning of this year in January. So it's been about going on 4 months with this planning system, and I absolutely love it. The first thing is this is my little pocket, and I have a couple things in here. We'll just go through them one by one. Here I have a picture of me and my partner on our run, and I just love this picture. I thought it was fun. It's colorful, and I thought it was cute to have to personalize it. That stays with me. This is a tea bag from a snail mail club that I'm part of from Stargaze Studio. I carry this around, not really because I plan on making tea, but I really like the colors and the design. So I thought, oh, this is like a cute little thing to keep around. I like the layering and like the pop of color and the floral patterns here. So I kept that. This is also not anything special. It's just like a decorative piece of paper. I thought it was cute because it is holographic and it is a nice little, again, like layering piece and something fun to add a little bit of texture and pizzazz to the side of my planner. And then this is also another decorative piece. This is just like a piece of paper. It's got little butterflies on it. I don't know if you can see in the video, but there is glitter. Then I keep that here for, again, mostly decorative purposes. In the back here, we have a photo strip of me and my cousins from one of my other cousins' weddings. I thought this was cute. I have a double of this image, so I can just carry it around and have it for some personalization. This is a lucky red envelope, or what we call in Vietnamese a lì xì. And honestly, there's no money in it, which is what we usually put in Vietnamese culture for Lunar New Year. But I usually like to just carry one around for good luck, and that's why I have that here. And this is reading log. I don't actually write on this because I actually track my reading digitally in an app called Fable and also in my bullet journal. So this is really here, again, for more decorative purposes. There's really no like actual function for these things. I just like them because I think they are cute and decorative and add a little bit of like texture and fun into the very, very blue planner. And then here we have a little pocket, and this is where I actually keep a whole bunch of different stickers. So we have some goal stickers, to-do list. These are some stickers that I got from a vision board workshop from Japan. And then I have just these fun stickers for planning. I don't really know where I got these. I don't really even like these that much because, I don't know, they're not like my style, but I want to use them. So I just kind of carry them around and plop them wherever I want to add any decorative pieces. So that goes here. Now let's actually get into the planner. So getting into the actual planner, I have some dividers here for, I don't know if y'all can see, we have personal, work, notes, mind maps, and then we have a blank one here. So let's just go through this one by one. Here's the cover page. I decorated it with some washi tape, always put my name, and then some stickers. This is a really cute sticker. I don't even remember where I got these. These two are actually two that I got from the vision board workshop that I attended in Madrid, and this is just very simple. All of these inserts that I have are from Charuca. Actually, she has options for the A6, A5, and all of the other ring planners, so I don't actually have any custom inserts. I just bought these from her because I wasn't really sure how to actually use inserts and didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money to buy inserts if I wasn't going to use them, and I didn't really know how I was going to actually use my ring planner. So flipping the page, it just has 10 basics of Charuca for high productivity and happiness. I am translating live, so I don't know if that's actually correct. This año, en un año estarás orgulloso de lo que estás empezando hoy. In 1 year, you will be proud of what you have started today. That's what it says. I didn't do anything here, didn't decorate it. And then we have a 2026 annual calendar so I can see all of my dates. Now, for the actual dividers, this is actually really different because they look like this. They came with a planner. I do not like this at all. I think this is actually like so ugly. I do not like the blue. I do not like the polka dots. I think it's too much blue navy to go with the blue planner. So what I actually did was customize and decorated each divider. So this is a personal one. It says live in the moment. These are all like scraps of paper I got from a scrapbook kit. We have this capybara notes that I just keep here in the case that I want to add anything else to my inserts. And then on this side, I decorated it again with some like magazine clippings, and it just says have a brave heart. Before we actually get into the weekly stuff, this is the monthly. It's an undated monthly spread. I thought I would write things here for like events or vacation or anything like that, but actually I don't because I have this in my big picture bullet journal. So I have it here, and this is where I actually track what I'm doing, events, anything like that. I didn't want to repeat the information. I don't know what I will be doing with these inserts, but they're here and they're undated, so I guess they can kind of last for forever. So if you have any ideas on what I could be using these monthly undated inserts for, please let me know in the comments because I want to use them for something. I just don't know what else I could be tracking in here. After the monthly undated, then we get into the weeklies, and these are actually dated for, I only have 6 months in here, but these are dated by week, and this is the personal side. So this is just an example of my week. I usually will write things like my top 3 priorities personally for myself here, and I really like this because what I used to do was combine my personal and my work and like professional life together in my bullet journal, and I found that that was really hard because I would struggle with separating work and personal, and also I didn't have the reflection space that I wanted for the work stuff or for the personal stuff. So I really like that in this ring planner, I can actually divide it clearly with like actual dividers and set this up in a way that best supports me. So here is like an empty-ish spread. I'll write things like my top priorities. This green highlight here is supposed to be my planned workouts. So I'll write this down so I know exactly what I'm going to be doing for exercise each week. Does it always get done? Not really, but you know, at least I planned it and it's there. And then in orange, I write down any personal like events or activities that we have. So for example, in January, my partner and I went snowshoeing in Navacerrada. I just wrote that down here. And then I also wrote that we went out to brunch/lunch for my partner's dad's birthday. This is a little bit repetitive from the monthly calendar that I just showed you in my bullet journal, but I do like it here because sometimes I don't always open my bullet journal on a day-to-day basis. I usually will update that by week. And so I like looking here to see exactly what specific events I have for the week. What I started to do was I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I use this space, because I don't have that much going on in my personal life. Like I can write down doctor's appointments, or I don't know, taxes are due, things like that. I even thought, oh, maybe I'll track like what I'm eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I didn't really think that this was actually very effective and I didn't really like it. So I ended up doing a weekly reflection. Every day I'll review what I specifically did well. I'll write down three things that I want to improve for the next day, and then my top 3 priorities for the next day. And these top 3 priorities don't necessarily have to be like related to work. They can just be related to things like my personal life. So for example, my top 3 this day was to take a morning walk and have a solo podcast session, because I like to listen to podcasts while I walk. And then other times it can be specific things related to work. Sometimes I add in this extra sticky note just if I want to use the weekend, sometimes Sundays, for a catch-up session, and I'll just pop this in here and write down my to-dos and then just start crossing them off as like admin. So here's kind of what it looks like on the personal side. I really love this system. As you can see, sometimes I don't always write my reflections, but I try to. And this has just been a nice way to review like very quickly what worked, what didn't, and how my day was for myself on like a personal level, not necessarily for work, even though sometimes I'll say like I did some really fun edits for work. But I could also say things like I went outside and I moved my body, or I drank enough water, for things that I did well. That is the personal side. I use this bookmark that I actually sewed myself. It's actually a fabric bookmark, and I didn't have any other bookmarks or like things to use, so I just cut little holes in it and popped this in. As you can see, it's not like the best because sometimes it gets stuck, but it works for me at the moment. Oops, and right now it is stuck. Okay, there we go. So this is the personal. Let's get into the work now. Flipping to the work side, this is probably where I spend most of my time, because I do use this for my work tasks and things that I have to finish each day and each week for work. So I decorated the original dividers are these, and I decorated the work divider. So we have a little magazine clipping of flowers and then a bee. If you all get it, I don't know if most people will, but I thought, oh, a worker bee, and that's why it's on the work divider. I know, very cheesy, but that's how my brain works and that's how I like to decorate things. So that's what this divider looks like. And then on the back, we have something similar as the personal, which is another magazine clipping. I actually think this is wallpaper. I'm not totally sure because it's not really a magazine clipping, but it's definitely thicker than a magazine clipping, and I'm pretty sure the texture feels like wallpaper. And then I put a sticker here that says stay curious. Now, before we get into the weeklies, this is the monthly insert for the work section. And to be honest, I do not use it because I don't know how to use it. I thought that this work insert would be great to kind of just write down if I'm launching something, if I have any specific marketing campaigns, if I want to, I don't know, launch an event or do anything like that. But again, this ended up feeling a bit repetitive to my bullet journal because I will still write down specific work events here, or if I have marketing campaigns or sales launches into my bullet journal, because this is more of the monthly and quarterly overview and big picture vision that I have. Then it didn't make sense to actually re-put that information here, but I did think, oh, this would be nice because I can have a look at the month, and then also I can write any like learnings or notes to keep in mind on the back. So in theory, I thought these monthly inserts would be awesome. Right now they're empty. I have the full year in here, but I don't know what to do with them for work. So if you have any ideas or inspiration for how I can use these types of monthly inserts for professional things, work-related stuff, business-related stuff, let me know in the comments, because I'm really trying to figure out how to use these because I bought them, but I haven't figured out the best way to use them that actually will support me. And also, my business is on pause-ish. I'm working on a new resource, a free resource for you all with my weekly planning checklist, and also putting together a beta group program for folks who want to work on their personal brands to get more opportunities or potentially pivot their career. But most of the time, what I'm doing and focus on right now is really just doing good work in the contract roles that I have so that I can save money to have a down payment for a house, potentially save money for a wedding, and all of those like adult things that I want. This now gets into the weekly spread, and this is where I write down all of my tasks for the week for each of the contract positions that I have. So I'll flip to today. So I have this ruler bookmark thing. It came with the planner from Charuca, and it's great because I can take it out and then kind of just slip it back in. And this is what my week usually looks like. Let me show you an empty week so you can see. So these are undated, and the reason why I put undated in my work section is mainly because if I am taking vacation or something like that, then I don't necessarily need a dated weekly here. I thought it would be a waste of paper if I put it in like actual dated weeklies into the work area. So this is why we have the undated section. These inserts from Charuca are awesome because it came with an undated weekly section, and then on this side, I actually have a notes section so I can write down any notes or other tasks that I have that don't necessarily fit into here. So how I actually divide my weeklies is, I'll show you this week that we are currently on. I divide it by drawing a line down, and then what I do is I mark these like highlighted areas here because each day or each workday has a specific theme. So Mondays are client work days, Tuesdays are BLC days. So this is when I go up to Madrid to teach my master's in marketing and AI courses. Wednesdays are client work days. Thursdays, well, this Thursday I'm traveling, so I'm off, but usually they are also client days. And then Fridays are for my personal business, like development, and also admin work. So this is usually like answering emails, catching up with stuff, or any like overflow things that I actually didn't get to. And then what I always do is I write my top 3 priorities for each day. And these are the things that in my mind need to get done if I have the time for them. Sometimes the tasks will take me a little bit longer than expected, so I don't actually get to finish them. But the goal is to really have them finished. And these are the things that like absolutely need to get done for today. On this side, this is when I actually write down like specific things that I need to do. So this is contract work with a video marketing agency that I work with based in Florida called Shine Studio, and I do edits for their clients. So this is me just keeping track of the actual posts that I need to edit. They have their own project management tool that I also use, but this is more like me in the actual work, and I need to keep track of it in this way. Sometimes I will have like extra little sticky notes here if I have extra things that I need to do for work. Sometimes I'll put it into personal, sometimes I put it in here, depending on how I am feeling. And then, as you can see, this week was a very busy week. That's kind of what it's been looking like for the past 3, almost 4 months now. I find that this system is awesome. It's a little bit tight. I do have like bigger handwriting than this, but I have shrunken it so that it actually fits into here. I think this is a great system for me because so far it has proven to be really effective, really efficient. And when I don't set up my week with my planner, then I find it really hard to stay focused and really hard to know what to actually prioritize. So this is what the work side looks like. I love it. It's gotten me really focused, very intentional about how I show up and what I am supposed to be doing, and also keeping track of all of my actual to-dos that I am responsible for. Now, after this work section, we have the notes and the mind maps section, as you can see here. And what is the difference between notes and mind maps? Let's get into it. Flipping to the notes section, this is, let me show you the divider because I really like it. This is actually a postcard that I got from Vietnam, and it is a bicycle and it has flowers on it. If you've ever been to Vietnam, then you know that there are a lot of people who bike or have like mopeds, and they carry lots of random things on their bikes and mopeds. And what you can really see in Vietnam, I think more in Hanoi, less in Ho Chi Minh City, are people who have fresh flowers. So I thought this was really pretty. I wanted to add it. It's a pop of color, and I love florals. So That's what that looks like. On the other side is a piece of paper with, what are these? Dragonflies, some flowers, and then some washi tape. I don't really care too much about the backside, as you may have noticed, of my dividers because I don't really look at them. I mostly care about the front because that's what I will see more often than not. I don't have actually that many notes in here. I feel like these are things that I just want to remember and things that I want to reference. So I have a collection of journal prompts that I want to revisit. I have my pen pal addresses the other side of this sheet, but you know, we're not going to show that. And I have like a list of books or business books that I actually want to read. Basically, my notes is really just things for me to keep track of in one place instead of having them in a Notion or in my phone note app in another notebook or anything like that. All of it lives here because I carry this planner with me everywhere I go. And if I am talking to somebody or if somebody gives me a suggestion, then I write it in here. If I don't have this planner with me, then I will write it in my phone notes app or send a message to myself. But usually what I'll do is I'll transfer that information into my notes so that I can keep it all in one place instead of having the information spread out in various areas. I hate having that. I hate having repeat information. So this is just like my best solution for consolidating and centralizing that information for me. Again, nobody is supposed to be like reading through my planner because this is just like me living my life and planning my life. So I don't really need to share any of my notes with anybody else. Now the mind map section is a little bit different. Let me flip it to show you all. Can you all guess why I added this here? This is an old map, I believe, of Spain. I cut it out. So there's Madrid here and Toledo, where I live, is here, I believe. Yes, you get it. Mind maps, a map. Ha 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 ha. On the back side, we just have this like fun, I guess, photo. Nothing really special about this. And then really the mind maps is where I am more brainstorming. I didn't want to write brainstorming because I thought that wasn't like a fun word, but mind maps, I was like, this is a cool word. So this is where I write down ideas. This is where I write down half-baked ideas. These are where I write down little notes to continue thinking about. It's not necessarily the notes, which I feel is more of like a permanent section. This is like for sure information that I want to keep track of. Mind maps are more ideas that I want to think about, to explore, or just things that are less set in stone. So here I've got some short form content ideas that I wrote down. On this side I have like my course ideas. I have my 2026 goals and like a quarterly breakdown. I wrote out like my business model breakdown and what I would like it to be. I also have like YouTube video ideas and then some Patreon content ideas and specific reminders that I liked. That's what the mind map section is. More like brainstorming, more for ideas, more for kind of just like jotting things down and kind of working through them in real time. When I put this in my planner though, I do feel like I have another notebook just for actual true big picture brainstorming. Like the sheet of paper is quite small. So I'll do that. And then sometimes I'll do a rough sketch first and then take this idea that I have in my mind maps and then transfer it into a larger notebook if I feel like I want to explore it. That's what the mind maps section is. And then the last divider here, which never gets to see the light of day, which is fine because I barely use this section, is just for stickers. Charuca's planner came with, I think, 2 sheets of stickers. And I didn't know what to do with them because they already have holes in them. So I just put them back here and then put this divider so that I can remember that I have them. Most of the time I forget anyways, but they're here. I don't use them very often because I don't like them that much. And also I think it's like poorly cut. I don't know if you can see that, but some of the images are not centered. So they're just sitting here as something to use whenever, if ever, I remember them. And then this section, I'm not totally sure what this pocket is for, but it didn't really come with anything. And I thought about putting a notepad in here, but I ended up choosing not to because when I write, it was kind of a pain in the butt to have a notepad here and then not have my actual paper be level. So I removed that. The planner also has this like pen holder that I don't use because I carry all of my pens usually in this, which is my giant ass pencil case from Amanda Rach Lee and Shop ARL. So I usually just carry my pens here, or if I don't carry my pens there, then I don't usually put them in here. I kind of just put them in my bag and they're floating around. And that is it for my A6 ring planner. This is the first time that I'm ever using a ring planner, and honestly, I love it. I'm really excited to continue using this and see how my planning evolves. If you all have any questions or ideas on how to use my monthly inserts for the personal and for work, please let me know in the comments because I do want to start using them. I just don't know how. And that is all. Thanks for watching and joining me for this tour of my A6 ring planner, and I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao!